we were on the phone doing conference call among the elders, and he insists that we should not wait, but we need to cancel church and move everything online.
Yeah, so in this country so far, there's been over 200,000 deaths. As of today, I think it was up to 208,000 deaths. Over 2 million people affected. I think COVID's been such a challenge because there are a lot of people who have no symptoms, but they could still be contagious. They could still get other people sick.
And I think that was when we decided this is serious enough that we need to do it now. We decided we'll just go straight into live stream using what we have and continue with that venue.
We are outdoors instead of indoors. We take everybody's temperatures before they come. Symptoms are screened. We have everyone masked, socially distanced. Church service itself, we've tried to streamline it and make it more, we try to shorten the duration of people's exposure to. So we have fewer songs. We try to get the sermon under 35 minutes. So those are just kind of the functional ways in which COVID's changed or the Sunday worship service. But yeah, without worship on the Sunday service, like we couldn't have the service that we have. Because again, I think worship settles your heart, kind of draws you into God's presence, and then prepares your heart to receive God's word.
For me, it made me realize and remember that worship is more than just singing. I think when we had to scale back the music, scale back also part of our singing outdoors, I was reminded that we can still worship God. The dinner time after service was a great opportunity for you to catch up and even hear where people are struggling and pray for them if needed. And when that went away, there was a really big void. And so we had to be much more intentional with reaching out to individuals. And you saw that with how the college group, ministered to people by bringing them necessities. We saw that through small group as well, and even Jenny with her cooking and providing it to people as they needed it. So we really saw how that intentionality was displayed during that time.
During the pandemic, especially beginning like March, April, May, I don't know, I was thinking of we don't meet on Sunday, meet on Zoom, so why don't I just do egg roll, chair, anything like that. And if people want to come and get some food, and I would give it out or have the boys at home, deliver to people who live far away. And since I love cooking, so it's a therapy for me too, and I love it.
COVID has really changed, of course, is how we do meetings, how we do small groups too. So even small groups have been held outside in people's backyards, like our small group is held in our backyard. It helped us to stay connected with each other and just to check in and see how are people doing, not just health-wise, but how has your job been affected? How has your family been affected by this? How's your walk with God been affected by this? And yeah, without the small group community, I think it would have been a very lonely experience.
Yeah, so it's been amazing that through the many months of the pandemic that we haven't had any cases at RP, and that's been such a blessing, and I know that's totally from God.
Right now, if you look back, you can totally see that the pandemic is something we have to admit it is the work from God.
God really forced us to really rely upon Him for every little thing. And I think that's made us stronger too. Just that realization that we were under the illusion that we have control, but really we're totally dependent upon God. I think with COVID, God has showed us that His church is much bigger than that building on the corner of Ward and Slater. That His church shouldn't be thought of and confined to that area and space.
I think God is faithful during the pandemic because He's always there and sustaining His people. Right? So if we seek God and depend on God, He will be found, He'll be our source of strength and help. So in that way, God is absolutely faithful, and we can experience that.